Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video. My name is Angel DeSantis. If this is your first time here, welcome. I speak on religious trauma, and I wanted to share in this video today some resources. I've had a couple of you reach out and ask me how to find a therapist or some sort of counseling to help you with what you're going through. And first, I just want to say congratulations on reaching out because it is a really difficult step. It requires acknowledging that there is work to be done and then believing that you are worth investing in and then reaching out and asking others for help. So there's a lot of things that are behind that action of reaching out. So I appreciate the action of reaching out and getting in touch and asking for help. It's a really big one. And I'm going to link all of this down in the show notes as well. So you're welcome to look down there. But I found my therapist. I wasn't looking for a religious trauma therapist. I was looking for EMDR, which is a rapid eye movement. It's eye desensitive. I don't remember. I'll link that as well. But it was specifically for trauma because, again, religious trauma is trauma. And so I was looking for something to help me with childhood trauma. And I ended up finding this wonderful therapist. And as I was looking through his profile and the things he specialized in, he also specialized in religious trauma. And he had been a Christian. He had also been in a monastery. He had tried a couple of different religions. And he had kind of found his way into something that made sense for him, but didn't believe in any sort of dogmatic, crazy religion. But I think it's important to find someone who understands the intricacies of this and how much religion will kind of grip you and kind of weave its way into every area of your mental structure and really get a very strong hold. It can. So when you're trying to come out of that, it's a really difficult thing to try and explain to someone who doesn't understand religion or who hasn't been very invested in it and who doesn't understand that it affects every area of your life, from family to work to just daily interactions. If you are here and you are looking for a religious trauma therapist, I'm going to link down below the website religionstraumacounseling.com. And you can go there, and there's resources there that link to other therapists who do also work with religious trauma. So that's a really good resource. I recommend that. But as you are looking for a religious trauma therapist, my suggestion, and this might be ageist, but my suggestion is to look for someone who is older, someone who has or been through, because you can be older in spirit, but somebody who's lived a lot of life and who understands what it's like to go through something and come out the other end. And the more things that they've gone through and come out the other end, the better understanding they will have developed of what it's like to go through things. So both of my therapists, the first therapist that I had was 70, and then the one that I have now, I believe, is in his late 50s. But as you're looking for religious trauma counseling, I suggest that you look for someone who is older and also someone who also has a base of knowledge surrounding trauma, because religious trauma and trauma are two different things, but they are also incredibly similar in that religious trauma a lot of times is used to suppress and depress. And when you are suppressed and oppressed and depressed as a child, that's trauma. So my suggestion, look for a trauma therapist and a religious trauma therapist and try and find someone who has either been through the journey themselves or someone who is older and has been through multiple journeys, because it does matter and it does make a difference in the quality of assistance that you get. So that's one thing, and I'm linking that below. The website is religionstraumacounseling.com. The second thing that I'm going to shout out is the religious trauma course that I made, which I will also link below. I spent a lot of time on that, and that is based off of my personal theory and the thing that I found that works for me that I want to offer to you, which is to ask questions, observe your answers, and then decide where to go from there. So it's a 3-step. It asks you a question, you answer the question, and then you observe it and kind of figure out what it illuminates in your own inner workings, and then you decide what to do from that point. And for me, the way that I structured that is it's a way of taking your power back. So it's a way of understanding what your framework is now and exposing that through questioning. And then the decision to move forward from there, that's when it becomes conscious. Am I going to take this mindset with me, or am I going to leave it here? And do I need to replace it, or can I just leave it here? So I'm also going to link that below. It's $20. So I made it affordable because I want people to do it. I want you to use it and to just let it inform you about yourself, because the more information you have about yourself, the better. And again, there's no wrong answer. You are answering questions just to show yourself what is inside. And the next thing I'm going to recommend, I have my little notebook, but the next thing I'm going to recommend is Dr. Gabor Mate. And he specializes in childhood trauma, and he talks about how childhood trauma affects the development of the brain. And he talks a lot about childhood trauma. And even if you're here and you're like, I don't have any trauma, I just grew up in a Christian household, or I just grew up in a, whatever religion it is that you're from, I think his work is really important. There's stuff that I didn't know, and when somebody gives you languaging for something that you didn't know how to articulate, it's really important, and it makes you feel seen and heard. And I have felt incredibly seen and heard and validated in the things that I was going through discovering the work of Dr. Gabor Mate. So I'm also going to link him below. Maybe I will link him here. But he's an amazing person, and I highly, highly recommend listening to his lectures. And the last thing that I'm going to recommend is a couple. They're a lovely couple on Instagram, and they just joined YouTube, so I'm going to link them as well. They are called Your Favorite Heretics. That's their tag on Instagram, which I'll link. And it's a husband and wife couple who I believe they were in Jehovah's Witness. I'm not quite sure though. But they were in a very religious group. They spent their whole lives in it. They were really involved in the church. And then they both kind of came to the same conclusion, the same illumination, and they left. And now they are doing, I think, very valuable work of exposing the toxic theology and the abusiveness of religion. And what I really love about them is they make these little graphs on Instagram, and you can kind of swipe through, and it's really easy. It's really digestible. I'm going to link them below as well because they are pretty amazing. So to wrap it all up, if you are here looking for a resource, I recommend going to religionstraumacounseling.com, where you will find resources that can hook you up with religious trauma counselors. And if one isn't available in your area, they are also in the middle of gathering a lot of resources so that they can help you. So even if there's not one that you find on there that's available, they can assist you in finding one in your area. The second thing that I recommend is the course that I made, the religious trauma course, which I will link below. And again, it is based off of the AOD, asking questions, observing your answers, and then deciding where to go from there. I'm also recommending Dr. Gabor Mate, and I'm recommending the couple who run Your Favorite Heretics. So those are my suggestions for you. And again, I just want to say that if you are here and you are looking, that is a really big step and something that you should give yourself props for. It is important that you are taking action to show yourself that you are worth the help, and you are. So continue fighting for your mental health. It is 100% worth fighting for. You will never regret, ever, fighting for your mental health. That is something that is a worthy investment, and you are here, and I applaud you for it. And let's continue this journey. And if I can help in any way, ask me questions. I always do my best to respond. I made this video because enough of you asked me to make a resource video, so here it is. But thank you guys for being here, and thank you for committing to the work and committing to your mental health. It's worth it, and you're worth it. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.